Hello. Oh, it hasn't come across on YouTube yet.
Oh, it's all good.
There we
What's up,
go.
Gary?
Yes. Hey, how you doing, Gary?
I am
Let me,
blessed.
let me mute my sounds here so I'm not having double feedback on me. Okay. How are you today?
I'm good. I don't know why. Oh, there it is. I wasn't sure why this thing was. It said it just hadn't started, so I had to go. I was waiting on it
I
so
had
I
to
could pop
refresh
out.
it.
I had to go through and pop out the chat. It's easier for me to see the chat when it's what's on a pop out. Pop out. Good to see
Yeah.
you, Brenda. Hey,
Hello,
Jamie.
Brenda. Hey, Scott. How are you guys?
Always a pleasure. You know,
We're
uh,
gonna talk about the show. We're gonna actually move this show to Friday at. Do you want to go at 6:30 or we want to go at 6?
in the PM on
Yeah.
Friday.
Yeah.
Uh, we'll have to look at that a little bit later.
Hey, Peter.
Truthfully, it'd probably be better for me earlier in the day. But we could probably go at 6:30, something like
Six
that.
thirty. We're gonna move this to 6:30 because on Saturdays, every third Saturday of the month, I have be at fire hall, and I wouldn't be able to be here because I go down at about 4 o'clock to get ready, and so we're gonna leave this till we move it to Friday. Plus, Jesse at Lazy Days Ahead comes on at 5, and we don't want to run over on him, and so if we started at 6:30 on Friday night, we can run until 8 o'clock with no problem, even longer if people want to talk. So it will be changing next week to that on Friday at 6:30, and we'll run from 6:30 to as long as people want to talk in or have questions in it. And today I got some questions that came to me. Do you have any?
Well,
Did you want to talk about first?
be more than happy to. But I do want to mention at the beginning of this show, we are not experts. We are
Correct.
people that have an interest in how YouTube works. I have spent probably too many hours looking at different things, and maybe I'm not studying the right things. I don't know, but I feel like I've got a few things figured out and how to do one thing or another. Coffee walks and whatever. Good to see you. But in fact, truthfully, it'd be even better if we could do 7. But
Well, I can start at 6:30 and you come on at 7 if you want. I mean,
okay,
that's no
well we
problem.
may do that. Hey,
Yeah,
Mitchell.
we can work it out. I want to say hello to I can't remember his name. Her name's Debbie from Coffee and Walks or whatever. And Raquel's in here, and hey, Mitchell's in here. Mitchell's one of my mods, and Scott's in here, and Scott's going to be one of my mods here pretty soon too.
Hmm.
And Brenda. And okay, so so we'll get started. You have any questions that somebody asked you this week about it, or you want me to go start with these questions I got?
We can, but before we even do that, I just realized, if you look at my comments, they're
Yeah,
all under,
you're
you
under
know,
cooks. They're
Outlook
Outlook cooks.
29 can cook.
Yep.
Let me swap over it because they may
Okay.
think that if I'm cooking, I don't understand what's going on with everything else. So
Okay. Yeah. Go ahead and swap over.
let me belt loop 29. I don't know if that'll change the. It'll be something of a point of interest, I guess,
Yeah. We'll
to see
find
if
out
it.
real quick here.
Nope, it's still under belt loop 29 can cook. I
Huh.
wonder.
There's there's Debbie with Mrs. Coffee walks in whatever.
I'm gonna ditch out of that one and pop out, open a new one.
You don't need another link, do you?
No, 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 no.
Okay.
I'm just talking about the. Um, well,
Question.
here I'll
Okay.
show you. Go
Shoot,
ahead.
Scott. We'll take your question.
And by the way, if you have a question in the chat, please type QQQ at the beginning of it to make sure that it kind of highlights for us. Otherwise, we may assume that it's directed at somebody else, or it's
Correct.
just anyhow.
I don't know. I don't know if the young lady that sent me this email is in here or not. But we would sorry she's not here. We'll still go ahead and answer the questions that she sent me.
Okay.
And
Dakota Carver, good to see you. Sorry, go ahead. What was the question?
It's right. First question. First of all, her name is Katie from Templeton, and Templeton Farms is where she's at, and Templeton Acres. I mean, Templeton Acres. She is up in Minnesota, and she asked me four questions. And what first question she asked was, "Can you watch your own videos to get watch hours?" And I already wrote back to her say yes. Other people, Raquel doesn't think it's actually counting if you watch it more than once, and there's no hard evidence either way as far as I know. If it is, I'm run my own watch hours all the time just because I'm down only at 1801. I need to get up to about 2700 where I should be right now for the number of subscribers I have. And then she says that if so, should you do it on a different account?
Well, that's a good question. I will say this, that when I was starting out doing a lot of this, I would go through and run stuff on mine. A word of advice for whether you're running your own or somebody else's, though, I clear my history, and I go through and pause my history so that anytime I watch something, it's supposedly gives credit for it. You could switch to another. If you have more than one login and more than one channel, you could switch to another one and do that. I think that one of the reasons why you might want to do that, at least at some point, is you may be trying to lead the algorithm down a particular road. I believe that YouTube pays attention to what we watch, and when they see certain shows that we have in common that we watch, it tends to go through and recommend some of the shows to them. So it certainly can't hurt. But I did run that, but then I also came to the realization it was going to, doing that like that was going to take me to watch my own shows and get credit for to get credit for the monetization, which is ultimately, I think, what she's asking, if it gives her credit towards monetization.
Yeah.
And you'd have to watch about 7 hours of your own stuff every day. No, it's 11 hours or over 10 hours. You got to have about 77 hours a week in order to be monetized within 1 year, because after a year it starts dropping off anyhow.
Right, you sort of drop what you have on there. All right, well, the next question she has is, besides lives, are there good ways to connect with other YouTubers to build a community? Best way to involve in a collaboration, or even to find out about collaborations? Now, I told her the best way to get a collaboration is and she's already started doing this. I saw her and Ginger, Not for Nothings, and Tony and Booze. She's been in their actual talk, their page, and live. Ginger and Boo was live today on their crafting show, and she went in there and she's actually sent pictures in for her crafts now. And I told her that's the way to do it, is to get in with them and start and ask her, is there any lives that are open that she can get into, and so she'll get involved in it. Women Outdoors, hey, thanks for coming. Then do you have anything on that? And I told her basically on the community, it's just get in and start talking to people, start putting your name out there, let people know who you are.
Well, I agree. When I first started doing YouTube, and I actually searched and looked for smaller channels, and sometimes they're really hard to find. At least they were for me. once you get amongst a couple of them, it's easier to find them because usually there's always a lot of links to other folks that is smaller channels. And one of the reasons why I prefer smaller channels myself, sometimes you get a different viewpoint, a different vantage point. There are people that are a smaller channel tend to be more approachable.
Now,
Quicker
Gary,
to
you see what
answer
Scott
questions.
says?
Do what now?
Scott says, see what Scott says. I think he's talking about watching a video. It says, yes, you can get credit, but you only can get credit once in every 45 days. Now, that's the first time I've heard that.
It is for mine as well, but I find myself wondering if that includes, and it may be, but I find myself wondering if that includes if you clear your history and pause it to where it's not showing up. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't
Hey,
know.
Wayne's World.
Yeah, Wayne's
Wayne's
World.
World.
Welcome, Wayne's World Unlimited.
But
So, okay, well, let's see. Okay, their third one was we were talking about collaboration stuff. The third one was best ways to understand what you can and cannot post. Now, this is a good question. She says, I am sure there's a cheat sheet somewhere in YouTube. I haven't come across it yet. And I said, well, if there is one, I don't know where it is because I haven't come across it either. I mean, I know what you can, what you should and should not do is, I mean, the main thing is like you don't talk about certain things, you don't talk about, or you don't show what people have been monetized on, not monetized, but been thrown in like jail, I guess, for like child labor and stuff like that.
Right.
I know a couple channels that's had, well, one channel that was knocked off for, I think it was 48 hours or 72 hours, and another one was knocked off for a whole 30 hours or 30 days because their kids were working and doing things on their farm, and it did not meet the criteria of to be monetized. They were monetized, so they kind of slapped their hands for it. I don't know of a cheat sheet though of what you can and cannot do. Do you?
hang on, I'm looking for one right now.
Okay.
I know that they have community guidelines.
Right. And I told her where the community guidelines were, and to go read that. You go there under your earn, and then you go down to the bottom and it says the community guidelines down there. So I told her where that was.
I'm gonna have to switch over, I think, over onto my other channel because and give me a second while we're doing this because I'm looking for the I'm looking for something that's showing really the community guidelines.
Now,
I do know that once you're monetized, there's an easy way to go through. There is an easy way to go through and figure that out, really, and that's really just going to the when you're uploading monetization policies. Let me follow that little rabbit.
Okay, and let me just read this what Scott wrote. Scott wrote, don't show homesteading stuff like processing meat. It got him thrown in jail for 3 months. So I guess showing the butchering an animal is not as a no-no.
Yeah.
I do know that
Justin
from Back Road Freedom, he got one of his lives. He was talking about the G word, but he was talking about his arms, and they shut his live off because they said that word just a few too many times. So I guess that could happen easily also.
Let me see. I've got something here that I'll show you. Let me take you over here so I can share my other screen. And I'd say a good place to start on that is going to be, let me share the screen if you'll throw it up there. This is a non-monetized channel for me, and this is my Belt Loop 29 Can Cook channel. I went ahead and clicked on the Earn tab, and then I just was looking at channel monetization, and and if you scroll down, you'll see a thing down here that says YouTube's channel monetization policies. And when you go to that, it'll bring you to this monetization. And then down here, there's an article on how follow the YouTube community guidelines. And you click on that, and then it's actually has a link where you can click to it, and it'll talk about sensitive content. You know, you can research nudity and sexual content policies, thumbnails policies, child safety policy, suicide and self-harm policy, vulgar language, violence, and this will also misinformation. They're kind of covering their tracks there on it. But if you go through and you are on, for example, let's say I wanted to upload a video. Let me see if I can find a video for me to upload. It shouldn't take but a second. Let me see.
Let me take it down. Let me know.
All right. Well, this one, I don't think anything on here is sensitive or anything. Where's it's time? There it is.
Welcome, honey, and stuff with J and J.
Appreciation video, pepper harvest. It doesn't really matter what it doesn't really what I upload because okay, here's one. I'll just upload this. It's empty. And this is a very it's irrelevant. I can upload this and then add music to it later or something. All right, so we'll go back over to and I can cancel it in the middle of it or whatever. And let's just go through and upload it. All right, select file, and I'm gonna do add music member as music members. All right, and now remember I am already monetized, so it's going to go through and ask you for monetization. If you're going to monetize it, you click there, and then you hit next, and on that it's going to go through and add suitability. Is there any point at which inappropriate language is going to be used? Are there adult content themes in it? Is there any violence in it? Is there any shocking content? Harmful or dangerous acts? Recreational drugs content? Enabling dishonest behavior? Hateful and derogatory comment? Firearms related content? Sensitive events? Controversial issues? Now, I happen to know that this particular one doesn't really have any of those. So I click that. I've been good enough with my stuff where they will let me hit my submit, and I just go through.
See, I don't see that page because I'm not monetized yet, so I won't see that until I get monetized.
Right, and the truth is, once you get monetized, they will look over your existing videos and determine whether or not they can be monetized. And let's say I just put this one I'm just going to list it as private. And so I'll go ahead and hit that. And this upload's going to take, I'll leave it there so it'll run through the checks and everything. But that's one of the reasons why I think it's, you ought to review the community guidelines things so that you can go through and figure out the things that they're looking for. Of course, some of those, in my opinion, is just my opinion. Again, I'm no expert on this, but I think some of those are probably, subject to interpretation.
Right.
But I think that
it's like the guy talked about his arms and he was using the gun word and his live, they cut it, they stopped it. They actually cut his live off. He used that word too many times, and the little robot that watches or your algorithm and watches it went in and said, nope, that ain't gonna work. All right. Well, we've been here for almost 20 minutes. I was going to open it at 15, but let me finish this last one. The last question she had on here was, is there an idiot guide to hosting lives? Now, I was talking to Gary earlier, and I said we got to come up and write a dummy book for hosting lives. Well, all of you people who are already out here who've been on lives, like Scott and everybody else, Rebecca, you all know it's just like jumping in a lake. You just got to jump in and get used to the water, So it's I told her you just really got to do it, but she said she was on here a long time ago, but she stopped doing it because of life situations. But she has noticed that things had changed over the last couple of years. Now I don't know what's changed over the last couple of years because I've only been on it for just a little over 14 months now. So
Brenda asked, can you watch your live before releasing it in case you need to take something out? A live is just that, it's live. Now you can record something and put it up as a premiere. You can record it and then put it up as a premiere. I record a lot of stuff on Streamyard and I edit. I do edit, but that's mostly me taking out my uhs and ahs and, the filler words that I use. But if you feel like something, and I have seen on several occasions where something happened during the live that had to be edited, oftentimes it's best to just go ahead and shut down that live quickly. You can start another one, but then you can turn around and go, what's up, T-Hand 141 Homestead? You can go through and edit that in the editor on YouTube and take out stuff. So yeah, it can be done, but yeah, I would recommend jumping on it pretty quickly if it's anything really egregious.
Yeah, especially if it's something you did wrong. So
yeah,
all right. So I'll open this up in a couple minutes if anybody wants to come up, but I wanted to show you, Gary.
Yeah.
I had let me get to a place I could do this and show you. I had opened up, or not opened up. I had I was subscribed, just downloaded, and I'm going to show this page. I'm going to just see if I can find it. Come on. Presentation, share screen. Let's share this one. All right. This is my home page, or my starting page, and I had downloaded this thing here called TuberBuddy. It's like a Socialblade, but it has information for anybody who doesn't have it. It's free. They go on and they show you, like the total videos is right here. I don't know, that's as big as I can get it to, I guess, unless I just drop myself out of here. Let's see. Drop us out. There we go. It shows you total views right here. That doesn't show where I'm putting that, does it? Wonder why. Anyways, there it is. It shows you the total views, shows you how many videos I have, what the videos, how many videos I've uploaded in the last 30 days, and how many views I've had in the last 30 days. Then it shows you down here the keywords, which I just recently updated or something to put more keywords in, because from another video, somebody said you need to show you that you have a lot of keywords that you use in your videos anyways in this area, so it helps pick them up, which I did. And then it gives this little thing over here about how many people subscribed or how many videos you posted in the last 30 days, depending on what you're doing. But this is another analytic thing that can help watch besides using Socialblade.
Yeah.
I watch
Socialblade, TuberBuddy, Tubi Butter. I don't know what you call that. But yeah, there's a few of them out there. I have one downloaded on my laptop, but I don't think it's Tubi Butter Buddy, TuberBuddy.
That's easy for you to say
that. And I don't think it's Socialblade either, but I've got something like that downloaded on my.
There's right down there. It says it's TubeBuddy.
TubeBuddy.
Yeah,
okay.
And you can download it. It's like I said, it's free, and it asks you like things about your channel and stuff like that. But if you don't like what it on, you can just shut it off, which is
Yeah.
nice. But it's not. You don't actually have to go to another. What's the word I'm thinking of? Another screen. Oh, here we get there. Over here, that's where I went. You don't have to go up and open another tab to use it. You can use it right when you're in your YouTube. Where Socialblade, you have to open another tab up to use Socialblade. As
Yeah.
far as I know, I've seen like Eddie
Well,
has Socialblade attached to his front page, and I don't know how he did that. So
well, I'm not sure. I hadn't tried that. I had one that I attached to, but that's on his computer, I expect, and like TubeBuddy, I would think. Now, but anybody can go to. Good to see you, Marie at our Okie Homestead.
hey, Marie,
You
how are you?
you can go to straight to. You can Google the. Uh, I'm having one of those brain farts.
Sorry, Socialblade.
Yeah, you can go to Google Social Blade and look up different channels and see how they do. It's I have remind me after in the after party, and I'll mention two channels that I know I've seen that we found that there's no question that the people are purchasing subscriptions. I don't know how they're doing it. I don't really want to
I
know.
I don't know either. I've heard of that, but I had heard this morning. I was watching another guy who talks about helping people out and stuff, making a channel bigger, and he had 872,000 subscribers, and I was on watching his live that he was putting on. And he was talking about things you shouldn't do, shouldn't do, and he said that some people were typing in that I guess in comments that they would share subscription per subscription back and forth. And he said that's a big no-no. When you get monetized, they'll come out and they see that they would actually put it on the front page, like I had up a little while ago. And he said they
Well,
see that they're not you're not gonna get monetized because they don't like doing that.
well,
So
you shouldn't.
no, you shouldn't be paying for it. You shouldn't be doing one for one. People should subscribe because they like what you're putting out there.
Now, I should also mention that in this channel, we are not a sub for sub channel. I know Jerry isn't. I'm not. The people that I hang out with are not sub for sub channels. We do believe in building a strong community and getting to know one another. Um, I don't see any problem if I like your content, and come over and visit you. Or maybe I just like you, as a personality, that type of thing. And you may just like my personality. The bottom line is, and I come over watch you, you come over watch me. I don't think there's anything wrong with that. But, when you try to go, yeah, I expect they do, Scott. They fall hard, I would think. We build a community. We build friendships. We go through and try to help one another, support one another. Um, People do for their friends. And
Okay, Gary, I'm going to open this up. Okay.
yeah, go ahead.
All right. I just want to let you know, and I'll pin it to the top. Anybody wants to come up, come on up. We'd love to have questions, or if you have insight on the questions we've said already today. Love to hear what you got to say.
By the way, that does bring me to a point I guess I wanted to address or talk about. The goal of a lot of channels, especially smaller channels, is to get bigger. Well, I guess that's probably the goal of a lot of channels. Big channels probably want to be bigger, and smaller channels wanted to be bigger than they are. It's nice and it feels good to feel appreciated, that people are, you've got good content and that people like you and they want to come see what you're doing. I get that. At least for a smaller channel, it's impossible for a bigger channel. But for a smaller channel, I think the thing to do is to come up on lives just like this right here. Let people get to see your face, get to know you. And the more you're there, the more people are going to say, well, let me go check out old Jerry. You know, I like what he's saying up there. He looks like a nice fella. He obviously ain't no, this or that. And, or he's a lot like me. And so I think that helps. Don't get me wrong. I believe that everybody got a right to pursue happiness. And that looks different for different people. But the more you're seen, the more you're going to grow. And so I would recommend coming up on panels, speaking up, talk when you have some pertinent information. I would also recommend, if you are lucky enough to become a mod on some channels, have tons of mods, but nobody's throwing links. Other channels, people throw, some people throw links, and it's just trying to recognize other people. And I think that gets you noticed. Whether it's right or not, or right or wrong to throw links, I don't know. I don't typically throw my link around. I don't, I think I've posted it once in the last couple of months, and that was just because somebody asked me to post it. And so,
and I posted mine when because you guys made up that thing on your videos, right?
BFF, I like that.
BFF, it pop up. So I did post mine because the people,
well, I'm not saying that it's wrong to do that. I just, I'm not growing my channel isn't the most important thing to me. And the fact is that the larger the channel gets, the harder it is to do justice to everybody that comes there, in my opinion.
Well, I believe that. I believe it gets harder.
Because at some point, you're going to have to, if you get so large, you're going to have to either spend every waking moment and some of your sleeping moments, if you're trying to help folks or trying to be supportive of other folks. It's really hard to the larger you get, the harder it becomes to try and be supportive of other folks. And even if you're still able to do that, and hello, hiking with Jackie Boy. Even if you're able to do that, you're spending less and less time on the supporting the different. I mean, you'll have a few that you're always hanging out with, and just because of the fact a lot of times they've been there from the get go. And sup, Tamara and David. And but it does become consequentially less and less. Now you can still.
I know that. I told everybody, I still do this to this day. I will respond to any comment that anybody leaves on any of my videos. I sat here this morning, probably for an hour this morning, responding to comments. And I understand when you get to be where you're having, a video put out and you have 100,000 people watch it, that if you have, say, 10% of those 100,000 watch it, you got 10,000 comments coming that you have to respond to. You're not going to be able to respond to all of them. I understand that, but my belief is if they take the time to come and watch it, at least you can give them a heart up or a thumbs up so they know that you read their comment. It may take you 4 hours to go through 10,000 thumbs up, but my belief is that I'm going to do this till I can't do it anymore. Is I'm going to try to give a comment back to everybody who leaves a comment, or at least a thumbs up or a heart or something, so they know that I actually read their comment.
Yeah. So, you're right. And the truth is, on comments is another section I really haven't even addressed, but I have spent some days 2 hours trying to answer comments. And I answered. I'm caught up with the exception of maybe the last day, every comment that's ever been made on my channel has had a response to it, unless with one or two exceptions. And the fact is, I do try to respond to all of them, and typically if they just say, hey, I may just say, hey, thanks for watching or something like that. But, I try to be thoughtful and that does take a lot of time. But surprisingly, some of those really popular videos that, that a lot of people watch, a lot of times you don't get a whole lot of comments on them.
Yeah, that may be. I mean, it all depends. Like my wife watches them on TV, and so she can't really
Mhm.
leave a comment because there's no place to be able to type a comment in. And if there's something she really wants to leave a comment on, she'll actually go back in the computer, kick me off this one or do it your laptop in, and she'll go in and put a comment on that video if she really wants to leave a comment.
You got a love raid from Ginger over at Not For Nothing Home.
Ginger's here now. I didn't see her come in yet, but I saw.
Well, and the 9 Acre Farms came in and said love raid from Not For Nothing Homestead.
I see. Yeah, they're one of my mods. So
Dale's
Ginger was live. She did a pop up earlier, live, and I went over there and gave him a hassle. What are you doing to do a pop up right before my live? You know, so in there, Dana's here. Good. So, anyways, but yeah, it's comments I think are important. I mean,
they are.
I know Tamara's in here. I'm pretty sure I saw Tamara in here. She leaves several comments, and I feel bad if I don't leave someone back on them. I mean, I don't want her to think I'm ignoring them, so I always at least leave a heart up on it if I don't leave a thank you or type thing on it. Quiet listeners in here.
Yep.
Just came in. Yeah, all these people coming in. So thanks for all coming in. I appreciate it. So it was the links up there. If you want to come up, Dale, if you want to come up and have something to say, jump on in here, buddy. We're just talking about what things are working, what doesn't work, and that's part of the analytics we're talking about. If you have any questions or any of the answers, I know you didn't hear the questions I had earlier. Has anybody got any questions that we can answer? I mean, things you have an interest in, or is there anything you want to see us which way we want to go? I mean, this is a new format we're doing, and I'll say it again. We're going to move it to Friday night, probably 6:30, 7 o'clock. We'll start running it, and we'll run it to whatever people don't want to watch it anymore. So, but we're not going to go 4 or 5 hours. I mean, we're not doing that. We'll do up to 2 hours if that's what they want to do on Friday nights. Because I was watching Friday night, there wasn't really a lot, at least not a lot that I know of watching people. There may be a lot of people on lives, but they're not in my community or people I watch. Where'd you go? Gary dropped out for some reason. Oh, there he is.
I'm sorry about that. I accidentally hit the wrong button. It had
yourself out.
I hit the back button. I was trying to hit the present button because I just wanted to show something. There you go. Okay. This is my last 24 hours page, and some of these videos, like here's one from 2021, Family Tomato Taste Test. And
hey, Randy.
It's one that started off very slowly. I guess it was posted, I guess around July in 2021 or 2020, and it has a few here and there. It then starts taking off a little bit, and it has right now it's at 2,600, and if you'd looked at it for the first, let's see, that is July 27th. Do what now?
The bottom line days, or
this is I think that's how many days it's been up for 606 days.
Okay, so at 200 mark is where it started picking up.
Yeah. So if you look at 265 days, let's find where it was at 265 days. Right there is 265 days. 1 year into it, it only had 723, and that was considerably more than it was very shortly before. But as you can see, it's one of those videos that people just keep clicking on. But it's rare, extremely rare for me to get a comment on this. In fact, I can't remember the last time I got a comment. In fact, we could go back and look, I guess. And as with every video, it seems like.
Well, I got a video I like to look at like that has 20,000 views on it.
Well, you can do it if you
I
want
just got to
to.
figure out how to get to it.
Hang on a sec. Let me see if I can figure out how to. Well, I know how to get there, I guess.
I don't want to go through the playlist. That's not going to work.
Views. Here's one that that's a way to get to it, I reckon.
What would you do?
Um,
Go through the studio, then you went to
all
content.
you do is visibility, monetization, date. All right, you can go by the date. I went to this is YouTube Studio.
Yeah.
Go to content,
Right.
then go over to views and just click on views.
Okay, but I got to find that video, and it's a little ways back.
You don't have to find the video. It will find it for you. It'll sort it out. Because if you look, I was on date.
Oh, so click on views.
Click on views, and it'll bring up your top. Your top watched. Your top.
Okay, here. Okay, yeah, I got it. Okay.
All right, and then you can just it'll show you. And this one got a bunch of views right off the bat. In the first 3 days. It took 3 days for this to take off, but when it took off, it took off.
Yeah, see, that's how this one I have. Let me see if I can share this one for you.
Yeah, go ahead. And I can't tell you the last time I had a comment on it. Let's see.
Okay, this one here is. I'm going to bring this all the way up. So there's I guess it was that day there was like, I don't know, it came out on the 12th, 11th. I posted the 11th. And on the 19th, it had 18,662 views.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just not steady, but it just keeps growing slowly. It's been growing slowly. It's been out for 76 days. It's at 20,038 views now.
Yeah.
So it shows that this one just took off right away, and then just kind of leveled out.
Well, I think, and there is. I mean, you could look at it. There's both types of videos. Well, there's more than just those two types. You've got videos that don't, probably will never do anything, and you've got videos that take off right away, and then you have some that continue to build and continue to gain traction. I think the goal, I would think that most people's goal would be to have a little bit of both. So that way you have continue to build folks watching it and continue a continued source of new subscribers, or potentially new subscribers.
Yeah.
And you've got something that it feels good to have either one, but I think the one that builds and builds and builds tends to be called like what's known as a evergreen video. I've got a couple of videos that are like that being one of the ones that we just looked at. But I've got a few videos like I've got quite a few different Ryobi tools, and I've done some reviews of them. And even though I've got some of them, there's a bunch of competition out there and they hardly ever get watched. But I've got one for a cultivator that I don't even think I was using it right, but yet people continue to click on that. And I think it's just because of the fact that there's, not a whole lot of people that have videos out on Ryobi cultivators. I think it helps to look for something that is popular enough, or something in a genre, a cliche, a niche, whatever you want to call it. Not a cliche. Well, welcome back, Victoria. But maybe is not as much competition, if that makes sense. I think that has more potential for building an evergreen video. But what do I know?
Well, nobody's coming up. I wonder, somebody's got to have some kind of questions, or, have some insight on something. Don't be afraid. We don't bite. If we do, don't worry about it. We've had rabies shots.
It does kind of bring me to see TCAN 141 says I go live Thursday 6 Eastern. And so.
And then they were saying Tamara saying we need a Friday night family night. Heck, every night of the week should be awesome.
Well, I think on shows like this, I think it is important also to understand that one of the reasons why some people are timid about being on live, afraid they're going to say the wrong thing, or or just, I mean, look at how many people don't even want their face shown on video. Tammy ain't crazy about it. Every now and then I'll talk her into it.
Tammy's arms more than I see anything else.
Yeah. I have had her on one or two. In fact, I even had one video that, some people, hey, good to see you, Shirley. Some people will come on and all they do is show their avatar. Hey, that's what makes them comfortable, I guess.
Yeah. I want to say that Tamara says that she enjoys Susan's morning videos. And, I'll just say something, Tamara. When I started this, she thought I was nuts in doing it. And I said, well, I'm doing it for two different reasons. One, I should have started like 16 years ago when we bought this property to show what we've done to this property. It's changed a lot. But she didn't really want to be on any videos. And now she's gotten to where, she'll walk in the house. Where's the camera? Where's the camera? Now she's standing behind me. She's walked in here. She will come in, and say, I got a camera to do. Where's the camera? I got a video to do. And she comes up with more ideas on videos than I do, and it's funny. Maybe we got somebody here. We got a couple people coming up.
Excellent.
There's Tracy and
Victoria.
Hey, Victoria. How's it going?
You guys have something?
What's going on? Band 141 Homestead.
Just hanging out. I was watching the live, and I'm getting really close to monetization. Do you guys have any advice for that? I'm above 3,000 hours, about almost 3,100 hours, and 870 some subscribers. You guys have any advice for
getting more subscribers?
Well, getting the more subscribers, but also once I'm monetized, how the best way to proceed and continue that growth.
Well, I can't tell you that because I'm not monetized yet. You've got more than I got. I've only got 715. So, but I can tell you what I've been told. Everybody told me, do lives, go lives, and you'll get the people and you'll get your hours. And I was my big thing about going live is I didn't want to step on other people's toes. So that's why we're stopping this in 12 minutes, because Jesse from Lazy Days Ahead goes live, and I'm not about to step on him because he's a friend of mine and he's helped me a lot. And, so you have to, I don't know, everybody says, I just do it. Don't worry about the people. Well, that's not me. I mean,
yeah,
I wouldn't be able to sleep with myself if I knew I was stepping on somebody else's lives. Even if people left me and went to watch them. The fact that I wasn't watching him or them or her, when I should say, whoever it is, it made me, I would feel bad because, I mean, I watched them originally. That's how I know that they're there. So yeah, that's a hard part. But then all I know is that I know a few people who've got over 1,000 who had their hours and they start losing hours. So you need to be sure you spread your hours out. The hours, your video hours or whatever.
Jerry.
Yes, sir.
Let me point out something. And I am monetized. I'm not a huge channel or anything, but I am monetized. And if you're looking for advice, I give you what I believe to be advice or my advice. First of all, I do think that live streams, I think that it's important to be well-rounded. And by that, I mean, do live streams, they help with watch hours. Do shorts, they help with subscribers. Do and make longer format videos. And when it comes to the longer format videos, make good quality content. The content that you make is something that hopefully people will continue to watch. Try to answer questions and how to help people. If you're doing something like making something as simple as making a chain link fence gate, how to make a chain link fence gate or how to repair a gate. It's something that, let's face it, most of us, when we go to YouTube, if we're trying to figure out how to do something, that's what we do. We go and type in how to do this, how to do that. And try to continue to improve your videos. Try to improve on what you're doing. Try to learn, if you start out on YouTube, live streaming, maybe look into using StreamYard. Maybe look into using some of these other things. Look at your editing, on longer format videos and how to do a better job of that. How can you improve what you're doing? You don't have to be 100% better every time, but try to be a little bit better every time. So if you're trying to build, I'm
going to say one thing. Let me say this, Gary has found, and I agree with him, that shorts will get you a lot of people. I mean, in fact, that's what's happened to my phone. I don't know if you guys hear that or not. But my wife keeps sending me these shorts, and I have not learned how to do a short through the computer. I've got to do it on the phone. I don't think I could do a short, upload a short from the computer, but so she sends them to me off her phone to my phone, and I upload them for her. So, but shorts, Gary's done a lot of shorts. He's talked about shorts. He thinks he gets a lot of subscribers from shorts, and I'm sure he does, because I know when I put a short out, depending on how good the short is, sometimes it will shoot to 3,000 or 4,000 views, and I get 4 or 5 people out of it. So that's what gets you the people. It doesn't count for watch hours, but it gets you the people. Right. Go ahead, here. I'm sorry.
Oh, you're all right. I was going to also say that one of the reasons why you usually have a throttling back on views and what have you after monetization is quite simple. People are trying to push, your friends are trying to push you to get that monetization. And so they're watching extra videos and they're playing playlists. Well, guess what? Once you've been monetized, now they're going to be trying to help somebody else play in their playlist. Right. And, some people have two or three screens or 2 or 3 different devices that they can play, and that's what they're doing. It's, certainly what I do. I play a couple of playlists at any given time, trying to help those individuals. And sometimes I change it up for something else. But if you're building a channel for the long haul, I think that the shorts are typically short term. They're going to get popular for the most part, if they're going to, within a day or so, and then they're going to basically die. You may have somebody every now and then that binges on your stuff that may watch some of it, but your longer format videos tend to be more of a watch on long, and depending upon what kind of videos they are. So I would suggest, again, to try to be well-rounded in your approach. Take advantage of each of the different things and what they do. So, and by the way, I hope you're feeling all right, Victoria. Last time I talked with you, you had a headache.
Yeah, I had that ceramic thing come down on my head pretty good. I'm doing better. It's been 4 days. Headache's not quite as bad. But I'm struggling to grow. It's not a big thing anymore. I mean, YouTube is fun, and it's a good way, in my opinion, to build long-term friendships. Yes, and sometimes that happens and sometimes it don't. I have gotten a handful of friendships that are beyond YouTube now. That people have my phone number, I have theirs. We talk frequently. Um, but it's far and few between when the friendships build that much.
Yes, ma'am.
I enjoy those friendships. As far as improving, this is a difficulty for me. I am very much not technically smart. I have tried to figure out the editing, and I simply just cannot figure it out. I mean, I still don't know what part you put the lines, what
All right.
part you keep and what part goes away.
All right.
When you're
Well, I
trying
tell
to.
you what,
We all learn that. I have problems like that.
Victoria,
Yes, sir.
come see me sometime. Send me an email or something sometime. I don't mind inviting you into an old live stream or
Well, you
into a
asked me to
private
come
party or
tomorrow.
something. Do I now?
You asked me to come tomorrow. I'm going to be
Well,
coming.
yeah. If you, I do, I will mention that. As long as I'm here, you can go through. And good to see you, Mark.
Hey, Mark.
We do shout.
Mark.
Go to some of these programs that do shout outs and for different channels. I mean, I do them on Sundays at 12 Central. And we're just going to invite some folks up, and they're going to tell them a little bit about their channel, that type of thing. And I'm going to shut up now so Mark can speak. And I'm sorry, I just
Before
keep
that,
talking.
I wanted to say Katie came in here, and Katie, we answered your questions. If you want to go back and watch the replay on this, you'll get your answers, your questions answered also. Go ahead, Mark.
Well, I was going to hop in on the short issues. So if you post a short at 3 a.m, it's going to go out there and no one's going to watch it, depending on what time zone you're in. So I think I mentioned this before. You want to try to get it when people are typically if people work, they're on their lunch breaks or work breaks between 11 and 3 p.m. are good times, 11 a.m. to 3 p.m. And then 5 p.m. to about 8 or 9 p.m. when people are at home, they're having supper. An example was I posted a short of a food short of menudo, and I posted it early in the morning at 6 a.m. because that's normally when I post my regular videos, and I got 84 views. So 2 days later, I posted it at lunchtime, and I got 600 views.
So did you take it down and repost it, or
No, I left it up because there's such a high volume of shorts, and people have a short attention span.
Mhm.
And other things you can do, like if you have older videos, like I had some that were 10 years old. I had some humpback whales, and my original video, I shoot, it was like 12 years ago, had about 200 views. So I just took the link and posted it on my community page. Or you can take and just re-upload an old video and see what kind of response you get. Because I know a lot of people, I've picked up probably since I got monetized back in September, probably 300 new subscribers, but they don't go back and look at your old content. They just start
Mhm.
from when they join up. And I always go back and look at a person's first video when I subscribe to their channel, just to kind of get a view who they are and where they're coming from. And I go through their playlist because there's probably some stuff in there that's valuable to me or interesting to me that I wouldn't otherwise get to see, just starting off. So you can take old content, and if you wanted, re-edit it or just try re-uploading it, and then try that with the shorts. If you have a short, that you think should be getting more views, just try reposting it at a different time. Because by tomorrow, there's probably going to be a couple million shorts posted, and you're going to get lost, because all the shorts that are getting big views, they're going to get pushed up to the front. When you go to the your homepage on YouTube.
Now, do you think
I'm sorry. I don't want you guys to cut you short, and I'll let you. Well, let's go a little bit longer, but I'm going to shut this off within another hour, a minute or two, because Lazy Days the Head's going out live at 5, and I promised I'd be there. So I just want to let you guys know. But we are going to do this again next Friday night. We'll start at 6:30. Gary may not get here until 7, but we'll start at 6:30. And I'd love to have people come in and talk.
Hey,
Well, thank
one
you so
thing
much.
to everybody on the panel, stick around for just a minute after the show. Don't immediately leave, so that there's one or two things I want to point out.
And I'm posting that Lazy Days link in the chat. So anybody who's still there and want to go there, you can click on that. And I'm sure that if you're going on the cruise or thinking about going on a cruise, I'm sure he's going to talk about it. And I'm going on a cruise, so I don't want to be too late. I don't want to get shuffled out. So
Right.
all right. So thank you all for coming. I love having you guys here. Thanks, Gary, for your insight. And next Friday night, let's see everybody come back again, and let's go into more depth, because there's nothing running after that as far as I know. And we can go as long as you guys want to talk about it. All right.
Good.
Thank you all for joining.
All right.
See
All right, Jerry. We'll see you later.
Thanks.
Okay.